Introduction. In the depths of time, veiled from common sight, there existed knowledge so potent that those who possessed it held the keys to shaping reality itself. This wisdom, passed down through generations of mystics and sages, was not meant to remain hidden forever, but awaited the moment when humanity would be ready to embrace its transformative power. You stand now at the threshold of revelation, where ancient truths emerge from the mists of history. These are not mere teachings, but living principles that have guided the greatest minds throughout the ages. Those who mastered these laws found themselves capable of manifesting their deepest desires, transcending the limitations that bind ordinary existence. The universe operates through immutable laws, as constant as the rising sun and as reliable as the changing seasons. Just as gravity shapes the movement of celestial bodies, so too do spiritual laws govern the creation of experience. These laws respond not to what you say or do, but to the unwavering conviction that resides within your heart. Visualization is a creative force, not idle fantasy. By holding clear images with absolute faith, you tap into the same power that creates galaxies. This ability lies dormant within you. This journey will transform your understanding of reality. Your circumstances aren't fixed. They respond to focused intention and belief. By reading on, you join an ancient tradition of those who've used these principles to reshape their lives. This transformative power awaits your discovery. Part 1. Unlocking the Forbidden Doors of Manifestation. Chapter 1. The Sacred Law of Manifestation. In a small, dusty bookstore tucked away in a forgotten corner of the city, a young artist named Marcus spent his days sketching between shelves, his dreams of recognition seeming as distant as the stars. His paintings, though born from his soul, remained unsold, gathering dust in his tiny apartment. One evening, as golden sunlight filtered through clouded windows, Marcus discovered an aged envelope pressed between the pages of an antique book. Within lay a yellowed letter, its edges worn smooth by time. The words, written in elegant script, spoke of a sacred law, that belief alone held the power to transform reality. The universe, the letter read, responds not to wishes or wants, but to the unwavering conviction that dwells in the heart. What you believe with absolute certainty becomes your truth. Marcus clutched this message close, feeling its resonance deep within. Though galleries had rejected his work and critics had dismissed his talent, he made a decision that would alter his path forever. Each morning he stood before his canvas and held in his mind an unshakable vision of success, not with desperate hope, but with calm certainty. Weeks passed, and though circumstances appeared unchanged, Marcus maintained his conviction. Then, almost imperceptibly, shifts began to occur. A stranger paused longer before his street displays. A local cafe offered its walls for an exhibition. A collector happened to notice his work through the cafe window. The power of belief transcends mere positive thinking. It is a force as real as gravity, as constant as the northern star. When you plant a seed in fertile soil, you do not doubt its growth. You know with certainty that it will sprout. This same unwavering knowledge must be applied to your desires. The universe responds to the energy of absolute conviction. Doubt creates resistance, while pure belief opens channels through which your desires can flow into reality. This is not blind faith, but rather an alignment with universal law. What you accept as true in the depths of your being becomes the blueprint from which the universe builds your reality. Like Marcus, you stand at the threshold of transformation. Your current circumstances, whatever they may be, reflect past beliefs, not future possibilities. The sacred law awaits your recognition and acceptance, ready to respond to your deepened conviction. Ritual of discovery, the practice of transformation. Select one area of your life where transformation is desired. Find a quiet moment at sunrise or sunset, times when the veil between possibility and reality grows thin. Light a white candle, symbolizing pure belief. On a clean sheet of paper, write, "I now choose to believe in," completing the statement with your chosen focus. Place this declaration where you will see it daily. Each morning and evening, read these words not as a hope or wish, but as a statement of unchangeable fact. Hold this belief with the same certainty with which you know the sun will rise. Let no external circumstance shake this conviction. This is your first step in awakening the sacred law within your life. Chapter 2. Perception as the gateway to power. In the heart of a bustling city square where countless souls crossed paths each day, an elderly photographer stationed himself with his weathered camera. His eyes held wisdom earned through decades of watching life unfold through his lens. It was here that Sarah, a young woman who had always felt invisible, encountered him one autumn morning. "May I capture your essence?" he asked, his voice gentle yet carrying an ancient authority. Sarah hesitated, accustomed to avoiding cameras and mirrors. Yet something in his manner drew her forward. As he raised his camera, he spoke softly. "Show me who you truly are, not who you think others see." When he showed her the photograph, Sarah's breath caught in her throat. The image revealed a woman of grace and power, her eyes alight with an inner fire she had never recognized. "This cannot be me," she whispered. The old photographer smiled. "The lens captures truth, but your eyes have been clouded by false perceptions. You see what you have been taught to see, not what is." Each day Sarah returned to the square, and each photograph revealed another layer of her true self. The photographer shared his wisdom. Reality shapes itself around your perception. Change how you see, and the world transforms before your eyes. Within weeks, Sarah noticed shifts in her daily life. Colleagues began seeking her counsel. Opportunities arose that she would have once dismissed as beyond her reach. Her very presence in rooms seemed to carry more weight, not because she had changed, but because she now perceived her own power. You too hold this transformative ability within. Your perception acts as both a lens through which you view reality and a force that shapes it. The universe responds not just to your thoughts and beliefs, but to the very way you perceive yourself and the world around you. When you look upon any situation, know that you are not merely observing, you are participating in its creation. Your perception casts ripples through the fabric of reality, drawing to you experiences that match your inner vision. As you perceive, so shall you receive. Just as Sarah discovered her true reflection through the wisdom of the photographer, you must learn to see beyond the limitations of old perceptions. The world you experience is a mirror, reflecting back the truth of how you perceive yourself and your place within it. Ritual of discovery, the mirror of perception. Choose a quiet moment as twilight approaches. Stand before a mirror in soft light. Observe your initial perceptions, the judgments and limitations that arise automatically. Now light a single candle and place it where its light reflects in the mirror. Take 3 deep breaths and allow your perception to shift. Look beyond the surface, beyond learned limitations. Write down one perception that has held you back, then beside it, write its opposite, a new vision of possibility. For 7 days, each morning and evening, stand before your mirror. Speak aloud your new perception as truth, allowing it to reshape your reality, just as surely as light transforms darkness. Chapter 3. The Quantum Link, Thought Matter and Reality. In the sterile confines of a prestigious research laboratory, Dr. Elena Martinez stood before her whiteboard, frustration etched across her features. For months, she had pursued a breakthrough in quantum mechanics that remained stubbornly out of reach. Her equations led nowhere, and her experiments yielded only failure. One evening, as she prepared to leave the lab, her mentor, Dr. Chen, appeared at her door. His presence carried the weight of decades spent unlocking nature's mysteries. Without a word, he placed a leather-bound journal on her desk. "What's this?" Elena asked, running her fingers across its weathered surface. "A tool more powerful than any equation," he replied. "Each night, write in detail what you seek to discover. See it clearly in your mind's eye. The ancients understood what modern science now proves. Thought shapes matter at its most fundamental level." Elena scoffed. "With all due respect, visualization won't solve quantum entanglement." Dr. Chen smiled knowingly. The greatest scientific discoveries came first as images in the mind. Einstein visualized riding alongside a beam of light. Tesla saw his alternating current motor in perfect detail before building it. The universe responds to focused thought. This is not mysticism, but a law as certain as gravity. Desperate enough to try anything, Elena began her nightly ritual. In exquisite detail, she described her breakthrough, feeling the excitement of discovery, seeing herself presenting her findings. At first, nothing changed, but gradually, like dawn breaking through darkness, new patterns emerged in her work. Ideas flowed with increasing clarity. Solutions appeared in her dreams. Connections she had missed became obvious. Within weeks, her research took a dramatic turn. The breakthrough she sought emerged not from endless calculations, but from a moment of crystal-clear insight, exactly as she had visualized it. You hold this same power within you. Your thoughts are not mere electrical impulses in your brain. They are seeds of reality, waiting to take root in the fertile soil of possibility. When you focus your thoughts repeatedly on a desired outcome, you create a blueprint that the universe begins to follow. Just as a sculptor must hold the image of their creation firmly in mind while working the stone, you must maintain clear, focused thoughts of what you wish to manifest. The law is precise. Scattered thoughts create scattered results, while concentrated thought creates concentrated results. This is why the ancient masters spent years training their minds to maintain single-pointed focus. They understood that thought repetition is not mere wishful thinking. It is the mechanism by which consciousness shapes reality. Thought repeated becomes form manifested. The power of focused thought transcends the barriers between mind and matter. When you hold a thought consistently with unwavering attention, you create a resonance that attracts corresponding circumstances, insights, and opportunities. Ritual of discovery, the seed of focused thought. As the sun rises, find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. Light a candle to symbolize the illuminating power of focused thought. Take 3 deep breaths, allowing your mind to settle. Choose one goal, one seed you wish to plant in the garden of possibility. Write it in your journal with absolute clarity and detail. Close your eyes and see it as if it already exists. For the next 21 days, spend 7 minutes each morning and evening holding this thought with unwavering focus. Let all other thoughts fall away, maintaining only the pure vision of your desired reality. Chapter 4. The Mystique of Repetition, Programming the Mind for Belief. In the early hours before dawn, when the world still slumbered, A young athlete named Sarah trained alone on the track. Her movements were precise, yet something held her back, an invisible barrier she couldn't seem to break through. Master Wong, her elderly coach, watched from the shadows. He had guided champions for decades, not through physical training alone, but through ancient wisdom passed down through generations. One morning, as Sarah completed her routine, he approached her with purpose. "Your body is ready," he said, his voice carrying the weight of ages, "but your mind resists." The ancients knew a truth. What you speak to yourself becomes your reality. He handed her a small scroll, its edges worn smooth by time. "Each morning, speak these words with conviction. Each evening, let them be the last thoughts you hold. The power lies not in the words themselves, but in their repetition." Sarah unrolled the scroll to find simple yet powerful statements. "I am unshakable. My strength flows without limit. Victory lives within me." At first the words felt hollow, foreign on her tongue. But Master Wong insisted she continue, explaining that just as water shapes stone through constant flow, repeated words shape the landscape of the mind. Day after day, Sarah spoke these affirmations. In moments of doubt, she returned to them. During training, they became her rhythm. Gradually, something shifted within her. The barrier that once held her back began to dissolve. Through this ancient practice, Sarah discovered a fundamental truth about the nature of reality. Your repeated thoughts and words shape your experience. Just as a sculptor's chisel transforms marble through countless strikes, your daily affirmations reshape your inner world. The power of repetition lies in its ability to bypass the conscious mind's resistance. When you consistently affirm a truth, it sinks deep into your subconscious, becoming part of your fundamental beliefs about yourself and the world. This knowledge was not new. It had been preserved by wise ones throughout the ages. They understood that words spoken with conviction, repeated with dedication, hold the power to transform reality from within. Repeated words become living truth. Your thoughts and words are not merely expressions of your reality. They are the very tools with which you craft it. Each affirmation, spoken with conviction and repeated with consistency, plants a seed in the fertile soil of your consciousness. Ritual of discovery, the sacred practice of affirmation. As the moon wanes and the new day approaches, create your sacred space. Light a white candle symbolizing the pure light of transformation. Take 3 deep breaths, centering yourself in this moment of power. On a piece of parchment, write 3 affirmations that resonate with your deepest truth. Speak them aloud 3 times, feeling their vibration in your body. Place your hand over your heart as you speak, connecting the words to your inner being, and for the next cycle of the moon, speak these affirmations upon waking and before sleeping. Let them be the first and last thoughts of your day. Feel them taking root in your consciousness, transforming from mere words into living truth. Chapter 5: The Alchemy of Emotion. In the heart of an ancient city stood a restaurant once renowned for its remarkable cuisine. Within its walls worked Marcus, a chef whose dishes had once drawn people from distant lands. Yet as the seasons turned, something vital had dimmed within him. His movements became mechanical, his once inspired creations now merely adequate. One evening, as the kitchen grew quiet, his old mentor, Giuseppe, appeared. The elderly chef had taught Marcus decades ago, carrying wisdom passed down through generations of culinary masters. Giuseppe observed as Marcus prepared a dish, his movements precise but empty. "You have forgotten the most essential ingredient," Giuseppe said softly, his eyes reflecting firelight from the stove. The ancients understood that food prepared without love nourishes only the body, while food prepared with love transforms the spirit. Marcus paused, memories stirring of the joy that once filled his kitchen. Giuseppe guided him to a pot of simmering soup. "Close your eyes," he instructed. "Remember when you first discovered your passion for cooking. Feel that pure joy as you create. Let it flow through your hands into every dish you prepare." At first, Marcus felt foolish, but he trusted his mentor's wisdom. With each dish, he began infusing not just ingredients, but genuine love and joy into his creations. Gradually, something shifted. Customers began lingering longer, their faces brightening as they ate. Word spread through the city of dishes that seemed to warm not just the body, but the soul. This truth extends far beyond the kitchen. Your emotions are the invisible force that breathes life into your desires. When you infuse your intentions with genuine feeling, they become magnetic, drawing their fulfillment toward you with unstoppable power. Just as Marcus discovered that love transformed his cooking from mundane to magnificent, your emotional energy transforms your thoughts from mere wishes into powerful forces of creation. The universe responds not to the words you speak or the thoughts you think, but to the feelings that pulse through your being. This ancient knowledge reveals that emotion is the bridge between thought and manifestation. When you align your desires with pure, positive feeling, you activate a force as old as creation itself. Your emotions become the flame that ignites the power of attraction. What is felt deeply becomes real swiftly. You possess the innate ability to infuse your desires with transformative emotional energy. Like an alchemist of old, you can transmute ordinary thoughts into powerful attractors through the magic of genuine feeling. Ritual of discovery, the emotional alchemy. Find a quiet space as the sun sets, light a candle and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and bring to mind your deepest desire. Now, rather than merely thinking about it, begin to feel it as if it has already manifested. Let the feeling of fulfillment wash over you. Experience the joy, the gratitude, the pure satisfaction of your desire realized. Allow these emotions to fill every cell of your being. Feel them in your heart, your breath, your very essence. Hold this emotional state for several minutes, knowing that these feelings are the very force that draws your desire into physical reality. Practice this emotional alchemy daily, preferably at dawn or dusk when the veils between thought and manifestation are thinnest. Chapter 6, Inner Silence, Unlocking the Sacred Mind. In the bustling heart of a gleaming metropolis, Michael Thompson orchestrated billion-dollar deals from his corner office. His days blurred into an endless stream of meetings, calls, and deadlines. Success by society's measure flowed abundantly, yet beneath the polished exterior, an emptiness grew. One morning, after another sleepless night, his body simply refused to move. The relentless pace had exacted its toll. His doctor's words were clear: "Step back, or your body will force you to." In a moment of surrender, Michael found himself at an ancient monastery nestled in distant mountains. No phones, no meetings, no words, only silence. The first days were torture. His mind raced with unchecked thoughts, plans, and worries. But as days passed, something shifted. In the monastery's garden, watching dawn light paint the sky, Michael experienced true stillness for the first time. In that sacred quiet, a voice emerged from within. Not the familiar chatter of his racing mind, but something deeper, clearer. He realized he'd spent years pursuing goals that belonged to others, not the whispers of his own heart. You too carry this wisdom within. The universe speaks in silence, revealing truths that cannot be heard above life's constant noise. When you still your mind, you access an ancient knowing that transcends thought. This silence is not mere absence of sound, but a gateway to the infinite intelligence that flows through all things. In the quiet spaces between thoughts, you discover the true nature of your desires, untainted by the world's expectations. The masters of old understood this profound truth. Clarity emerges not from endless doing, but from sacred stillness. In silence, the fog of false desires lifts, revealing the pure light of authentic intention. In stillness lies the whisper of truth. The noise of the world clouds your inner vision. Only in moments of true quiet can you discern which paths lead to fulfillment and which lead to emptiness. Ritual of discovery, the sacred silence. Find a space where you will remain undisturbed as the world awakens. Sit comfortably, allowing your breath to find its natural rhythm. Let your eyes close gently. For the next 11 minutes, embrace complete silence. Do not try to quiet your thoughts. Simply observe them passing like clouds across the sky of your awareness. As your mind gradually stills, notice the spaces between thoughts growing longer. In this silence, ask yourself, what does my heart truly desire? Let the answer arise naturally from the depths of your being. Practice this ritual daily, preferably as dawn breaks, when the world itself holds its breath in anticipation of a new day. Chapter 7. Breaking Patterns, Reprogramming Limiting Beliefs. In a bustling coffee shop, Sarah Matthews stirred her untouched latte, her thoughts dwelling on another unfulfilling day at her accounting firm. Across from her sat Marcus, a friend she hadn't seen in 5 years. The transformation before her eyes seemed almost miraculous. Gone was the anxious, defeated person she remembered. In his place sat someone radiating quiet confidence and joy. "What changed?" she asked, leaning forward. Marcus smiled, his eyes reflecting a wisdom that transcended his years. "I discovered that my prison existed only in my mind. Every morning I told myself the same story, that I wasn't capable enough, that success belonged to others, that change was impossible. Then I learned the ancient truth. Our beliefs create our reality." He shared how he had methodically examined each limiting thought, questioning its origin and validity. "These thoughts weren't mine," he explained. "They were inherited from parents, teachers, society. Once I understood this, I could choose different beliefs." You too carry beliefs that shape your world like invisible architects. These thought patterns, often formed in childhood, construct the boundaries of your perceived reality. Yet these walls exist only in your mind, built from thoughts that were never truly yours. The universe operates through absolute freedom. It is your birthright to choose the beliefs that serve your highest good. When you recognize that your limitations are self-imposed, you hold the key to your own liberation. Your beliefs are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of consciousness. Each thought you nurture grows into the reality you experience. By consciously choosing your beliefs, you activate your power as a creator of your life circumstances. The ancient masters understood this fundamental law. Freedom begins in the mind. Your outer world will always reflect your inner beliefs. When you transform your thoughts, your reality transforms in harmony with your new understanding. In the liberation of thought lies the freedom of being. Examine the beliefs that have shaped your path. Are they truly yours? Do they serve your highest potential? The power to choose different thoughts, and therefore a different reality, rests within you. Ritual of Discovery, the Freedom Declaration. Take a sacred moment in solitude. On a blank page, write down one limiting belief that has held you back. Trace its origins in your life. When did you first accept this thought as truth? Now craft a new belief that aligns with your highest vision for yourself. Write it as though it is already true. For example, transform "I'm not worthy of success" into "I naturally attract success and prosperity." For the next 7 days, begin each morning by reading your new belief aloud 3 times. Feel its truth resonating in your being. Watch as your reality begins shifting to reflect this new understanding. Remember, this is not mere positive thinking. It is the conscious activation of the universe's fundamental law of belief and manifestation. Chapter 8. The Art of Surrender. Trusting the universe's flow. High on a cliff overlooking the Pacific, a young entrepreneur named James Chen watched his savings account dwindle to nothing. His tech startup, once promising, had collapsed despite his relentless efforts. Each morning he noticed an old fisherman casting his net into the swirling waters below, moving with an effortless grace that seemed to defy the ocean's mighty force. One dawn, drawn by an inexplicable urge, James descended the rocky path to the shore. The fisherman, weathered by decades at sea, acknowledged him with knowing eyes. "You fight too hard against the current," he said simply, though James hadn't spoken a word. The fisherman demonstrated his technique, allowing his net to flow with the water's natural movement rather than forcing it against the tide. "The ocean provides," he explained, "but only when you trust its rhythm. Fight it and you'll exhaust yourself catching nothing." You too may find yourself struggling against life's current, believing that through sheer force of will you can bend circumstances to your desires. Yet the universe operates through a profound paradox. The more desperately you grasp for control, the more it eludes your grip. True power lies not in resistance but in alignment. When you surrender to the greater flow of life, you tap into an intelligence far beyond your limited perspective. This is not passive resignation, but active trust in the universe's perfect timing and infinite wisdom. Consider how water in its natural state always finds its path. It does not fight against obstacles but flows around them, ultimately reaching its destination. This is the way of divine alignment, holding your vision while releasing attachment to how it manifests. The ancient wisdom teaches that surrender is the gateway to true power. By releasing your rigid expectations and trusting in the universe's plan, you allow solutions to emerge that your struggling mind could never conceive. In surrender lies the seed of divine intervention. You are not abandoning your dreams by releasing their form. You are creating space for the universe to deliver something even greater than you imagined. This requires faith in what you cannot yet see, trust in what you cannot yet understand. Ritual of Discovery, the Sacred Release. Find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed. Hold in your mind a desire you've been struggling to manifest. Feel the weight of your attachment to it, the anxiety of forcing its arrival. Now imagine this desire as a paper boat. See yourself standing at the edge of a flowing river. With love and trust, place your paper boat upon the water. Watch as the current carries it downstream, knowing the universe will guide it to its perfect destination. Speak these words aloud. I trust in divine timing. I release my attachment to outcomes. I surrender this desire to the infinite wisdom of the universe. For the next 7 days, whenever thoughts of control or anxiety arise around this desire, return to the image of your paper boat floating peacefully on the river of life. Remember that in releasing control, you activate the universe's limitless power to support you. Part 2. Harnessing Forbidden Knowledge for Personal Transformation. Chapter 9. Aligning with the universe's frequency. In a bustling concert hall in Vienna, a young violinist named Sophia prepared for her performance, her hands trembling with familiar anxiety. Night after night, despite her technical perfection, something remained missing, a vital connection that left her audiences unmoved and her spirit depleted. One evening, after another lackluster performance, she encountered an elderly man in the empty concert hall. His presence carried the quiet dignity of someone who had mastered his craft. "Your notes are perfect," he said, his voice gentle yet penetrating, "but you play only to the air." The man introduced himself as Maestro Marcus, a retired conductor who had once led the world's greatest orchestras. "Music is not merely about producing sound," he explained, leading Sophia to the stage. "It's about creating resonance with the souls before you." He guided her through an exercise, asking her to close her eyes and sense the energy of the empty hall. Before you play a single note, attune yourself to the space, to the collective heartbeat of your audience. Let your inner frequency match theirs, then gradually lift it higher. Sophia practiced this technique daily, learning to expand her awareness beyond her instrument. When she performed again, something extraordinary happened. As she tuned into the audience's energy before playing, she felt a powerful connection forming. Her music began to flow not from her violin, but from a deeper source within, touching hearts in ways her technical expertise never could. You too possess this ability to align with the universal frequencies that surround you. Just as a radio must tune to the correct frequency to receive a clear signal, your energy must resonate with the frequency of your desires to attract them into your life. The universe operates on precise vibrational patterns. Joy, abundance, and love exist at higher frequencies, while fear and lack vibrate at lower ones. When you consciously align your inner state with the frequency of your desires, you become a powerful attractor for their manifestation. This alignment begins with awareness. Notice how your thoughts and emotions affect your energetic state. Each moment offers an opportunity to tune yourself to higher frequencies through conscious choice. Like Sophia learning to sense her audience, you can develop sensitivity to the subtle energies that influence your manifesting power. Your energy frequency determines your reality's resonance. The law of attraction responds not to what you want, but to the energy you emit. By maintaining harmony with the frequency of your desires, you create a natural flow of manifestation. Ritual of discovery. The energy attunement. Begin each morning with this sacred practice of energy alignment. Sit in stillness and place your hands over your heart. Breathe deeply as you envision your desire clearly in your mind. Feel the emotional quality of having this desire fulfilled. Is it joy, peace, freedom? Whatever the feeling, allow it to fill your entire being. This is the frequency of your desire. Now, like tuning a musical instrument, adjust your current emotional state to match this frequency. If you feel resistance, gently release it with each breath until you achieve resonance. Remain in this state for several minutes, allowing your energy to stabilize at this higher frequency. Throughout your day, return to this feeling whenever you notice your energy shifting out of alignment. Chapter 10. Visualization. Creating vivid blueprints of desire. In the heart of a bustling city lived an architect named Thomas, whose designs had always been competent but unremarkable. For years, he dreamed of creating something extraordinary, a structure that would transform the city's skyline while harmonizing with nature itself. Yet each time he approached his drafting table, his vision remained frustratingly out of reach. One night, exhausted from another fruitless attempt, Thomas wandered into an ancient library. Among dusty volumes, he discovered a weathered manuscript that spoke of the ancient art of mental architecture, a practice where masters would build their creations first in the realm of thought, perfecting every detail before touching pencil to paper. Intrigued, Thomas began spending his mornings in quiet contemplation, building his dream project within his mind. At first, he could only hold vague impressions, a curve here, a shadow there. But with patient practice, his mental images grew clearer. He visualized each floor, every beam, the play of light through carefully placed windows. He imagined how people would move through the spaces, how the morning sun would warm the eastern facades, how rain would flow naturally into hidden collection systems. As his mental blueprint became more detailed, solutions to complex design challenges began appearing in his consciousness, as if they had always been there, waiting to be uncovered. The structural problems that had once seemed insurmountable resolved themselves in his mind's eye, revealing elegant solutions that merged form and function. This sacred practice of visualization serves as more than mere imagination. It is the act of imprinting your desires into the fabric of reality itself. When you hold a clear, unwavering image in your mind, you create a template that the universe naturally moves to fill. Your mind's eye serves as a powerful lens through which the formless energy of creation flows. Each detail you add to your mental image acts as an instruction to the universal forces, guiding them in manifesting your vision. Just as a blueprint guides the construction of a building, your visualization directs the assembly of circumstances, opportunities, and resources needed to bring your desire into physical form. The power lies not in casual daydreaming, but in the deliberate, focused act of seeing your desire as already complete. When you infuse these mental images with emotional energy, the feeling of achievement, the satisfaction of creation, the joy of realization, you accelerate their journey from thought to form. The clarity of your vision determines the precision of its manifestation. This truth echoes through the ages. What you can see with unwavering clarity in your mind's eye must eventually take form in your physical reality. The universe responds to the detailed blueprints you create through focused visualization. Ritual of discovery, the sacred visualization. Find a quiet space where you won't be disturbed. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to carry away distracting thoughts. Begin building the image of your desire in your mind, starting with its basic form. Layer by layer, add details to your vision. If it's a physical object, see its color, texture, and dimensions. If it's an experience, imagine the sounds, scents, and sensations. Make the image so vivid that you could reach out and touch it. Now, step into this mental scene. Feel the emotions of having your desire realized. Let these feelings enhance the clarity of your vision until it becomes more real than your present circumstances. Hold this complete image for several minutes, allowing it to imprint deeply in your consciousness. Return to this practice daily, each time adding new details and deepening the emotional resonance of your vision. Chapter 11. Symbols and Codes, the Language of the Subconscious. In a small workshop at the edge of an ancient marketplace, there lived a master jeweler named Ibrahim. While other craftsmen focused solely on creating beautiful pieces, Ibrahim understood a deeper truth, that symbols carried whispers of power that could shape reality itself. Each morning before touching his tools, Ibrahim would meditate on the ancient symbols passed down through generations of his family. Into every piece he crafted, he wove these sacred patterns: spirals for abundance, waves for flow, mountains for strength. His clients chose pieces that drew their eye, unaware of the symbolic language embedded within. As months passed, stories began reaching Ibrahim's ears. A merchant who wore a ring bearing the spiral pattern reported unexpected opportunities flowing into his life. A grieving widow found renewed strength after wearing a pendant marked with the mountain symbol. A struggling artist discovered fresh inspiration while wearing bracelets etched with waves. The truth that Ibrahim understood speaks to you now. Symbols serve as bridges between the conscious and subconscious mind, carrying messages deeper than words can reach. These visual anchors bypass the analytical mind, speaking directly to the part of you that shapes reality. Your subconscious mind communicates through imagery and symbol, translating abstract concepts into visual form. When you consciously choose and surround yourself with symbols that represent your desires, you create a constant dialogue with your deeper self, reinforcing your intentions on a level beyond thought. Think of symbols as keys that unlock specific frequencies within your consciousness. A symbol of abundance attunes you to opportunities for growth. A symbol of love opens your awareness to connection. A symbol of strength awakens dormant power within. The most potent symbols are those that carry personal meaning for you. While ancient symbols hold power through centuries of use, your unique associations create the strongest resonance. A simple shape that reminds you of a moment of triumph becomes a talisman of confidence. A pattern that speaks to you of possibility becomes a beacon, drawing opportunity near. Your environment shapes your consciousness in subtle yet profound ways. By deliberately placing meaningful symbols in your daily path, you create silent affirmations that work continuously to align your energy with your desires. Each glance at these chosen symbols reinforces your intention, like dropping pebbles into the pool of your subconscious mind. Symbols are the language of the soul, writing your desires into the book of reality. When you understand this truth, you recognize that every symbol in your environment is either supporting or diluting your intentions. Choose your symbolic surroundings with the same care you would choose words for a powerful incantation. Ritual of discovery, creating your sacred symbols. Sit in quietude and reflect on the desire you wish to manifest. Allow images to arise naturally in your mind. What shapes, patterns, or symbols emerge? Trust the wisdom of your intuition as it presents these visual representations. Draw or write these symbols, refining them until they feel complete. They need not be complex. Often the simplest symbols carry the most power. What matters is the meaning they hold for you. Choose one symbol that resonates most strongly with your intention. Create or obtain a physical representation of this symbol. It could be drawn, crafted, or found in nature. Place it where you will encounter it regularly throughout your day. Each time you notice your chosen symbol, pause briefly to connect with its meaning and your intention. Let it serve as a constant reminder of the reality you are creating. Chapter 12. Sacred Geometry, Building a Framework for Manifestation. In a remote valley where ancient wisdom still whispered through mountain winds, lived a gardener named Thomas. His vegetables grew well enough, yet something within him yearned for deeper understanding of nature's ways. One morning, as mist clung to the hillsides, Thomas noticed a monk tending the monastery garden above his plot. Unlike any garden he had seen, the plants grew in precise geometric patterns. Circles within triangles, spirals of herbs, flowers arranged in perfect hexagons. Drawn by curiosity, Thomas approached the monk. "Why do you arrange your garden in such patterns?" The monk smiled, drawing a circle in the soil. Nature speaks in the language of geometry. Every snowflake, every flower petal, every spiral of a shell follows these sacred designs. When we align our creations with these patterns, we tap into the very blueprint of existence. Under the monk's guidance, Thomas began restructuring his garden. He planted in sacred geometric patterns, seeds in spiraling Fibonacci sequences, beds arranged in the flower of life pattern. To his amazement, his plants flourished beyond measure, producing abundant harvests that seemed to defy natural limits. This truth now reveals itself to you. Sacred geometry forms the underlying structure of all creation. These patterns serve as channels through which universal energy flows most efficiently. By aligning your thoughts and intentions with these sacred forms, you create pathways for manifestation that mirror the natural order of the cosmos. Think of your desires as seeds and sacred geometry as the optimal arrangement for planting. Just as Thomas discovered that plants thrived when arranged in harmony with universal patterns, your intentions gain strength when structured within these sacred forms. The circle represents wholeness and unity, a perfect container for intentions of completion or harmony. The triangle channels energy upward, ideal for goals of growth or spiritual elevation. The square grounds and stabilizes, supporting intentions of foundation and material manifestation. These patterns exist within you already. Your DNA spirals in the golden ratio. Your cells divide in sacred geometric progression. Your very atoms arrange themselves according to these universal blueprints. When you consciously align your creative power with these patterns, you speak the native language of reality itself. Sacred geometry is the architecture through which universal forces flow, shaping thought into form. The most potent manifestations occur when inner vision aligns with universal design. By housing your intentions within sacred geometric forms, you create resonance with the fundamental patterns of creation. Ritual of discovery. Sacred geometric visualization. Find a quiet space where you can focus undisturbed. Close your eyes and envision a perfect circle of golden light before you. This circle represents the container of your intention. Within this circle, see your desire taking form. As you hold this vision, allow the circle to slowly transform into a triangle, lifting your intention upward on currents of divine energy. Feel how this sacred shape provides structure and direction to your desire. Finally, let the triangle become a square, grounding your intention in physical reality. Experience how these geometric forms organize and amplify your creative power, aligning your desires with universal patterns of manifestation. Practice this visualization daily, allowing sacred geometry to become the framework through which you structure your creative power. Chapter 13. Engaging the Infinite Mind, Tapping into Universal Knowledge. In the bustling heart of a city, where noise and chaos reigned supreme, a journalist named Michael sat before his blank computer screen. The weight of deadlines pressed upon him, yet inspiration remained elusive. His fingers hovered over the keyboard, but the words refused to flow. As the sun cast long shadows through his office window, a peculiar figure appeared. An elderly woman who cleaned the building each evening. She paused at his door, noting his frustrated expression. "The harder you grasp at thoughts," she said softly, "the more they slip away." Michael turned, surprised by her insight. The woman, it turned out, had once been a renowned poet before choosing a simpler life. "Our minds," she explained, "are like still pools. When we agitate the waters, we cannot see what lies beneath, but when we allow the surface to calm, everything becomes clear." She taught him a simple practice before writing, to sit in complete stillness, releasing all effort to create. The infinite mind speaks in whispers, she shared. It requires not force, but receptivity. Initially skeptical, Michael found himself drawn to experiment with her guidance. Each morning, before attempting to write, he would quiet his mind, letting go of the need to generate ideas. To his astonishment, insights began to flow effortlessly, as if received rather than created. This ancient truth now unveils itself. The infinite mind exists as a vast ocean of wisdom, accessible to all who learn to still their thoughts and listen. Like a radio receiver tuning to a specific frequency, your mind can align with this universal source of knowledge and creativity. When you cease the constant chatter of conscious thought, you create space for higher wisdom to enter. This is not mere relaxation, but a deliberate opening to the infinite intelligence that permeates all existence. Think of your mind as a vessel. When filled with your own thoughts and efforts, it leaves no room for divine inspiration. But as you empty yourself of mental strain and desperate grasping, you become a clear channel through which universal wisdom can flow. This connection strengthens through practice and trust. Each time you choose to release control and open yourself to guidance, you deepen your relationship with the infinite mind. Ideas, solutions, and insights begin to arrive not through force, but through allowing. The key lies in cultivating quiet confidence, knowing that all wisdom already exists within the universal field of consciousness, awaiting your receptive awareness. Through stillness, you access this boundless source of knowledge. The infinite mind speaks through the silence between thoughts, revealing wisdom to those who learn to listen. Your role is not to create wisdom, but to receive it. By releasing the need to generate every thought and solution through personal effort, you open yourself to the natural flow of universal intelligence. Ritual of discovery. Connecting with infinite mind. Find a peaceful space and settle into a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take 3 deep breaths, allowing each exhale to carry away mental tension. Feel yourself becoming still, like a quiet pool of water. Release all effort to think or create. Simply rest in awareness, knowing that the infinite mind surrounds and permeates your being. Allow your thoughts to settle naturally, creating space for higher wisdom to emerge. When questions or concerns arise, offer them to the universal intelligence without straining for answers. Trust that guidance will flow naturally through your quieted mind. Remain in this receptive state for several minutes, practicing the art of listening rather than seeking. Chapter 14. Synchronicities as Signs from the Universe. In the heart of an ancient trading route, a merchant named Ibrahim wandered through bustling marketplaces, seeking his fortune. Though skilled in commerce, something within him yearned for deeper meaning. Each morning, he noticed white doves gathering near his window, their presence drawing his eyes to different paths than his usual routes. At first, Ibrahim dismissed these gentle nudges from the universe. Yet as he followed his standard course, misfortune seemed to block his way. A collapsed bridge here, a closed gate there. On days when he heeded the dove's direction, he discovered remarkable opportunities, a rare manuscript that brought great prosperity, a chance encounter with a wise teacher, or a marketplace hungry for his goods. Through these experiences, you begin to recognize the language of universal synchronicity. The world speaks not just through words and thoughts, but through patterns, coincidences, and recurring signs that guide you toward your highest path. These synchronicities arise as natural confirmations of your alignment with universal flow. When you set an intention, the universe responds through a web of meaningful connections, repeated numbers catching your eye, chance meetings that open new doors, or recurring themes that illuminate your path. Like Ibrahim, you may initially doubt these subtle messages, yet as you attune yourself to their presence, you discover an intricate tapestry of guidance woven through your daily experience. Each synchronicity serves as a gentle whisper from the universe, confirming your direction or suggesting new possibilities. These signs often appear in clusters, multiple references to an idea you've been contemplating, or several unrelated people mentioning the same opportunity. Such patterns are not mere coincidence, but evidence of the universe orchestrating circumstances to support your growth and evolution. Your role is to remain aware and receptive to these divine arrangements. When you notice recurring patterns or meaningful coincidences, pause to reflect on their significance. What message might the universe be conveying? What direction are these signs indicating? Synchronicities illuminate the path when you trust the universe's language of signs. As you cultivate awareness of these cosmic signals, you develop a deeper trust in universal guidance. Each recognized synchronicity strengthens your connection to the invisible threads that weave through existence, leading you toward your highest good. Ritual of Discovery, the Synchronicity Journal. Begin carrying a small notebook dedicated to recording synchronicities in your daily life. Each evening, reflect on patterns you've noticed, recurring numbers, symbols, or themes that appeared throughout your day. Note chance encounters that proved meaningful or unexpected connections that emerged. Document these occurrences without judgment, simply observing their presence in your experience. Over time, patterns will emerge, revealing the subtle ways the universe guides your journey. Let this practice deepen your trust in divine timing and universal support. Chapter 15, Balancing Inner Energies, Cultivating a Magnetic Personality. In a bustling corporate office, a young executive named Sarah commanded her team with unwavering determination. Her drive for success brought results, yet something felt missing. Her employees completed tasks efficiently but without genuine engagement, and opportunities seemed to slip through her grasp despite her relentless pursuit. One afternoon, while attending a leadership conference, Sarah observed Elena, a renowned business leader whose presence transformed every room she entered. Unlike the forceful speakers who dominated the stage, Elena moved with quiet confidence. She listened intently to questions, responded with both strength and compassion, and drew people toward her like moths to a flame. Intrigued, Sarah approached Elena after the conference. "Your influence seems effortless," she noted. Elena smiled, sharing wisdom that would transform Sarah's understanding of true power. Through Elena's guidance, you discover that authentic influence emerges from the harmonious balance of opposing forces within. Like day and night, these energies, the masculine force of action and the feminine power of reception, create a natural rhythm that attracts abundance. The masculine aspect manifests as direction, focus, and decisive action. It drives you forward, sets boundaries, and brings ideas into form. Yet this force alone, unchecked, can become rigid and overwhelming, pushing away the very opportunities you seek to attract. The feminine energy flows as receptivity, intuition, and nurturing connection. It opens you to guidance, fosters creativity, and builds genuine relationships. This energy in isolation, however, may lack the structure needed to manifest desires into reality. True magnetic power emerges when these energies dance in balance within you. As you learn to harmonize assertiveness with empathy, action with reflection, and giving with receiving, you create an energy field that naturally draws others toward you. This balance manifests in practical ways, knowing when to speak and when to listen, when to push forward and when to allow things to unfold, when to lead and when to support. Like Elena, you begin to embody both strength and softness, creating an authentic presence that inspires trust and attracts opportunities. The union of masculine and feminine energies within creates a magnetic force that naturally attracts abundance. Your journey toward this balance begins with awareness. Notice when you lean too heavily on one aspect, perhaps pushing too hard toward goals or remaining too passive in the face of opportunity. As you cultivate equilibrium between these forces, your natural magnetism emerges. Ritual of discovery, the balance of power. Take a moment each evening to reflect on your day through the lens of energy balance. In your journal, create 2 columns labeled Active Force and Receptive Flow. Under each, list moments when you express these energies, perhaps taking decisive action or listening deeply to others. Notice patterns of imbalance or harmony. Choose one situation for tomorrow where you can consciously adjust your energy, perhaps softening your approach in a challenging conversation or standing firm when you typically yield. Through this practice, gradually build your capacity to embody balanced power in all situations. Chapter 16, Defeating Doubt, Strengthening Faith in the Unseen. In the sacred annals of transformation, there exists a tale of a mountaineer named Thomas, who faced not just the towering peaks before him, but the steeper summits within his own mind. As he stood at the base of Mount Everest, preparing for his first solo climb, the weight of doubt pressed upon his shoulders more heavily than his equipment. Each step upward brought whispers of uncertainty. "You're not ready," the voice of doubt echoed through his thoughts. "Others have failed here. What makes you different?" The bitter wind seemed to carry these fears, wrapping them around him like invisible chains. Yet as Thomas reached a narrow ledge halfway up his ascent, something shifted within him. Pausing to catch his breath, he recalled the words of his mentor. "The mountain does not yield to doubt, but bows before unwavering faith." In that moment, Thomas began a different kind of climb, an ascent within himself. With each careful step forward, he replaced thoughts of doubt with affirmations of capability. "I am prepared," he whispered against the wind. "I am strong. I am worthy of this summit." Through this inner dialogue, Thomas discovered that his greatest opponent was not the mountain, but his own hesitation. As his internal conversation shifted from fear to faith, his movements became more assured, his decisions more clear. The mountain, once an adversary, transformed into a partner in his journey. You see, the power of unwavering faith transcends physical challenges. Like Thomas on his solitary climb, you too stand before mountains of your own making, peaks of possibility that seem insurmountable only because doubt clouds your vision. The ancient wisdom reveals that doubt serves as nothing more than a veil, obscuring the infinite potential that resides within you. When you choose faith over fear, trust over trepidation, the universe conspires to support your ascent. This is not mere optimism, but a fundamental law of creation. Just as Thomas discovered his inner strength through conscious choice, you hold the power to transmute doubt into unshakable faith. Each moment presents an opportunity to choose anew, to step away from the familiar territory of limitation and into the vast expanse of possibility. Faith in oneself is the bridge between desire and manifestation. Your journey of transformation begins with a single step. the conscious decision to trust in your innate power and the universe's unwavering support. Ritual of discovery, the letter of faith. Find a quiet moment and create a sacred space for yourself. Take a fresh piece of paper and pen, allowing them to become instruments of transformation. Begin writing a letter to yourself, dated 1 year from today. In this letter, express gratitude for the strength and faith that carried you through challenges. Detail the achievements that your unwavering belief made possible. Write with certainty, as if these manifestations have already occurred. Seal this letter in an envelope, marking it with today's date. Place it where you will see it daily, letting it serve as a physical reminder of your commitment to faith over doubt. Each time your eyes fall upon this envelope, silently reaffirm your trust in the universe's perfect unfolding. Part 3. Becoming the Architect of Reality. Chapter 17. Cultivating the Visionary Self. In the hidden chambers of success, there exists a story of transformation that speaks to the very essence of creation. A young entrepreneur named Michael had weathered 3 failed businesses, each setback etching deeper lines of disappointment across his spirit. Yet within these apparent failures lay the seeds of his greatest triumph. One evening, as Michael cleared out his office after his latest venture's closure, he discovered an ancient book wedged behind a shelf. Its pages spoke of the power of vision, not mere daydreams, but carefully crafted images held steadfast in the mind. Inspired, Michael gathered magazines, photographs, and written words, creating a detailed tapestry of his dream business on his wall. Each morning he stood before this vision board, absorbing every detail, from the modern office space to the satisfied clients, from the innovative products to the precise revenue figures. What began as a simple collection of images transformed into a living blueprint of possibility. As days passed, Michael noticed subtle shifts in his choices. He began declining opportunities that didn't align with his vision, even when financial pressure tempted him. He sought mentors whose expertise matched specific aspects of his board. His conversation shifted from past failures to future possibilities. Within months, synchronicities appeared. A former colleague introduced him to an investor whose interests perfectly matched his vision. A vacant office space manifested that mirrored the image he'd selected months before. One by one, the elements of his vision board materialized in the physical world. You see, vision serves as more than mere imagination. It becomes the architect of reality. When you hold a clear, unwavering image of your desired future, the universe begins orchestrating circumstances to match this internal blueprint. The ancient teachings reveal that every great achievement first existed as a crystal-clear vision in someone's mind. This power of visualization transcends mere positive thinking. It creates a magnetic force that draws opportunities, resources, and allies toward your goals. Success leaves clues, and those who have mastered the art of manifestation understand that detailed visualization serves as the foundation of creation. By maintaining a vivid picture of your desired outcome, you program your subconscious mind to recognize and seize opportunities that align with your vision. A vision held with unwavering clarity becomes the mold into which reality flows. Through conscious visualization, you activate the creative forces of the universe, setting in motion events that transform your mental image into physical reality. Ritual of discovery. The vision blueprint. Take a large piece of paper or board and create 3 distinct sections: being, doing, and having. In the being section, place images and words that represent who you wish to become, your character, values, and personal growth. In doing, Visualize the actions and experiences that will fill your days. In having, detail the tangible results and achievements you desire. Add specific details, dates, numbers, locations, and sensory experiences. Write powerful statements in the present tense, as if already achieved. Place this vision blueprint where you will see it daily, allowing it to imprint deeply in your consciousness and guide your choices toward manifestation. Chapter 18. Advanced Rituals for Divine Alignment. In the sacred halls of creativity, there exists a tale that reveals the transformative power of ritual. An artist named Sarah discovered this truth through her own journey of awakening. Each morning, as the sun painted the sky in gentle hues, Sarah would enter her studio with reverence. Before touching brush to canvas, she performed a sequence of actions that seemed ordinary to others, but held deep meaning for her creative spirit. She would light 3 candles, one for inspiration, one for clarity, and one for divine guidance. With slow, deliberate movements, she would arrange her brushes in a perfect circle, symbolizing the infinite nature of creativity. Finally, she would stand in silence, palms raised to receive the energy flowing from above. At first, these actions appeared mere habit, yet as days turned to weeks, something extraordinary began to unfold. Her paintings took on a luminous quality that seemed to emerge from beyond her conscious mind. Clients spoke of feeling moved by an inexplicable energy emanating from her work. The ritual had become a bridge between the physical and spiritual realms of creation. Within these ancient teachings lies a profound truth. Ritual serves as the vessel through which divine energy flows into earthly form. By creating sacred space through intentional action, you open channels for higher wisdom to guide your endeavors. Every significant act of creation throughout history has been preceded by ritual, whether conscious or unconscious. These patterns of preparation align your energy with universal forces, creating a conduit for manifestation. Through ritual, you transform ordinary moments into sacred opportunities for connection and creation. The power of ritual lies not in the actions themselves, but in the intention and reverence with which they are performed. Each gesture becomes a prayer, each movement a declaration of purpose. As you establish these sacred patterns in your daily life, you create an energetic foundation that supports your desires and intentions. Sacred rituals bridge the gap between mortal action and divine creation. Your conscious engagement with ritual practices opens doorways to higher consciousness, allowing universal wisdom to flow through you into physical form. Ritual of discovery, creating your sacred practice. Choose a specific time and space for your daily ritual. Begin by identifying 3 symbolic actions that represent your deepest intentions. These might include lighting a candle, arranging meaningful objects, or performing specific movements. Write down the meaning behind each action, ensuring it aligns with your desired outcome. Practice this ritual sequence daily, maintaining full presence and reverence. Let each movement become a conscious bridge between your earthly existence and divine guidance. Through consistent practice, your ritual will evolve into a powerful tool for manifestation, grounding your intentions in physical reality. Chapter 19. Channeling the Great Mind for Limitless Empowerment. In a small cafe tucked away from the bustling streets of the city, a writer named Marcus sat before his laptop, frozen by the familiar weight of creative paralysis. Day after day, he struggled to find words worthy of the page, his mind cluttered with doubt and resistance. One afternoon, while seeking refuge in the local library, he encountered an elderly librarian who noticed his frustrated expression. Without a word, she placed an ancient journal on his table. Within its weathered pages, Marcus discovered the writings of a sage who spoke of accessing the great mind, a universal source of wisdom and creativity. When the surface of the mind grows still, the sage wrote, inspiration flows like water from an eternal spring. Intrigued yet skeptical, Marcus began practicing moments of quiet contemplation before writing. At first, the silence felt uncomfortable, foreign to his usual routine of forcing words onto the page. Yet as he persisted in these moments of stillness, something remarkable occurred. Ideas began to emerge effortlessly, as though received rather than created. His writing took on a depth and clarity that surprised him, flowing from a source beyond his conscious mind. The great mind exists as an infinite reservoir of wisdom, accessible to all who learn to quiet their thoughts and listen with patience. This universal consciousness contains all knowledge, all possibility, all creative potential. By stilling your mind, you create space for this divine intelligence to flow through you. Think of your mind as a radio receiver. When static fills the airways, through constant thought, worry, and mental chatter, the signal becomes distorted. Yet in moments of clarity, when mental noise subsides, you tune into frequencies of higher wisdom. This practice of receptive stillness opens channels between your conscious mind and the infinite intelligence that surrounds you. Through regular communion with the great mind, you access not only creative inspiration but profound guidance for every aspect of life. The key lies in surrendering the need to generate ideas through force of will. Instead, allow yourself to become a clear vessel through which universal wisdom flows naturally. This requires trust in the process and patience with the practice of stillness. In the silence between thoughts, divine wisdom speaks. This truth invites you to release the struggle of creating solely from limited personal resources. By connecting to the infinite source of all creativity, you access an endless wellspring of inspiration and insight. Ritual of discovery, the listening practice. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed for 10 minutes each day. Close your eyes and focus on your breath, allowing thoughts to pass without attachment. As your mind grows still, imagine opening yourself to receive guidance from the great mind. Don't strain to hear or understand, simply maintain an attitude of receptive awareness. When insights arise, let them come naturally, without forcing or analyzing. Keep a journal nearby to record any wisdom or inspiration that emerges during these moments of sacred connection. Chapter 20, Gratitude as Alchemical Power. In the heart of a thriving marketplace, a merchant named Sarah tended to her small shop of handcrafted goods. Though once prosperous, her business faced mounting challenges as new competitors emerged and costs rose steadily. Each morning, she would open her doors with a growing heaviness in her heart, focusing on dwindling sales and mounting bills. One day, while organizing her inventory, she discovered an old brass key with a note attached. The key to abundance lies not in what you lack, but in what you already possess. Initially dismissing the message, Sarah continued her day until an elderly customer noticed her troubled expression. The woman shared a simple practice that had transformed her own life during difficult times. Each evening, she explained, I write down 3 blessings, no matter how small. This practice opened doors I never knew existed. Though skeptical, Sarah began noting her daily blessings, loyal customers who still visited, the skill in her hands to create beautiful items, the roof over her shop that sheltered her dreams. As days passed, something shifted within her. She began greeting customers with genuine warmth, finding joy in creating new pieces, and appreciating the small moments that made each day unique. The power of gratitude operates as a universal law, transforming the very fabric of reality through conscious appreciation. When you direct your attention toward what you value, you activate an ancient principle that multiplies abundance in your life. Gratitude serves as an alchemical force, transmuting scarcity into plenty, fear into faith, and limitation into possibility. It operates beyond mere positive thinking. It fundamentally alters your energetic frequency, attuning you to the natural flow of abundance in the universe. As you cultivate genuine appreciation for what exists in your life, you create an energetic magnet that attracts more experiences worthy of gratitude. This principle operates with mathematical precision. What you appreciate appreciates. The practice of gratitude shifts your focus from what appears missing to the countless blessings already present in your life. This shift in perception opens channels through which greater abundance naturally flows. Gratitude transforms the seed of desire into the flower of fulfillment. This eternal truth invites you to recognize that appreciation acts as a bridge between your current circumstances and your desired reality. Through conscious gratitude, you align with the universal current of abundance. Ritual of Discovery, the Gratitude Journal. Begin a daily practice of recording 3 specific things for which you feel genuine appreciation. Write these entries each evening, focusing on the details that make each blessing meaningful. Include both significant and subtle gifts, from major achievements to simple pleasures. As you write, allow yourself to fully experience the feeling of gratitude for each item. Let this appreciation fill your heart and mind, knowing that this practice creates a magnetic force that attracts greater abundance into your life. Chapter 21: Becoming the Observer Creator. In a secluded mountain temple, a young martial artist named Jin trained relentlessly, driven by an intense desire to prove himself. His movements were precise, yet his mind remained turbulent, clouded by frustration whenever he failed to execute techniques perfectly. One morning, his master found him practicing alone, his strikes fierce but erratic. The master sat quietly, observing Jin's increasingly agitated movements. After some time, he called Jin to sit beside him near a small pond. "Watch the water," the master instructed. Together, they observed the pond's surface mirror-like in its stillness. The master dropped a small pebble, creating ripples that disturbed the reflection. "Your mind is like this water," he explained. "When agitated, it shows a distorted image of reality. But watch. What happens if we simply observe?" Gradually, the ripples subsided and the water returned to perfect stillness, reflecting the sky above with crystal clarity. This simple lesson marked the beginning of Jin's true understanding. Rather than immediately reacting to his emotions during training, he learned to first observe them. When frustration arose, he would pause, watching the feeling without becoming entangled in it. Through this practice, he discovered that observation itself created a space between emotion and action. You too possess this innate power of observation, a sacred gift that allows you to witness your inner world without becoming consumed by it. This ancient wisdom reveals that true mastery begins with the ability to observe yourself as both participant and witness in the great dance of creation. When you maintain the stance of the observer, you access a deeper well of wisdom. From this vantage point, you can see the patterns that shape your reality, understanding how thoughts and emotions influence your creative power. The observer within you stands as a steady lighthouse, unmoved by the storms of circumstance. This watchful presence allows you to navigate life's challenges with grace, choosing your response rather than being driven by reaction. The power to create flows through the channel of clear observation. This timeless truth reveals that your ability to manifest desires strengthens when you first cultivate inner stillness. Through practiced observation, you develop the clarity to direct your creative energy with precision and purpose. Ritual of discovery, the observer's practice. Set aside time each day to practice the art of observation. Find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed. Begin by observing your breath. Then expand your awareness to include your thoughts and emotions as they arise. Notice each thought or feeling without attempting to change or judge it. Simply acknowledge its presence as if watching clouds pass across the sky. Through this practice, you cultivate the stable presence of the observer, strengthening your foundation as a conscious creator of your reality. Chapter 22, Courageously Embracing the Unknown. In a bustling marketplace in a distant land, a young merchant named Arya felt an inexplicable pull toward a weathered map hanging in an antiquarian shop. Though she had built a comfortable life trading familiar wares, something within her whispered of greater possibilities. The map showed a remote mountain pass leading to an unnamed valley. Without logical reason, Arya felt compelled to follow this path. Despite warnings about abandoning her stable business, she gathered her courage and set forth into the unknown. The journey tested her resolve. Each step took her further from familiar territory, yet that same inner voice that had guided her to the map continued to whisper, "Forward." After days of travel, she discovered a hidden valley where rare healing herbs grew in abundance, plants she had never encountered in all her years of trading. Fascinated, Arya spent time learning from the valley's inhabitants about these plants' properties. What began as an inexplicable journey transformed into a passionate pursuit of healing knowledge. Her life's work shifted from trading common goods to sharing these remarkable remedies with those in need. You too possess this innate wisdom that beckons you toward unexplored territories. The universe speaks through subtle nudges, inviting you to step beyond the boundaries of your known world. When you honor these gentle promptings, you open doorways to possibilities that your logical mind could never have conceived. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. Each step into uncertainty carries the seed of transformation. The unknown, though seemingly void of promise, holds the richest soil for growth. Your greatest opportunities often lie just beyond the edge of comfort. The universe conspires to guide you toward your highest path, but you must take the first step. Like Arya, your willingness to venture into uncharted territory may lead you to discover gifts you never knew you possessed. The unknown holds the keys to your greatest potential. This eternal truth reminds you that growth requires movement into unfamiliar spaces. By embracing uncertainty with an open heart, you allow the universe to reveal paths that were invisible from where you once stood. Ritual of discovery, the courage step. Choose one area of your life where you feel called to step into the unknown. Write down a specific action that makes your heart beat faster with both excitement and trepidation. This might be sharing your art publicly, speaking your truth to someone important, or pursuing an unexpected opportunity. Create a simple ceremony around taking this step. Light a candle, hold a meaningful object, or simply pause in silence to honor your courage. Then, commit to taking this action within the next lunar cycle, trusting that the universe will meet your courage with support. Chapter 23, The Path to Mastery, Embodying Forbidden Knowledge. In a quiet workshop nestled among ancient trees, a young woodworker named Marcus toiled under the guidance of his master. For 7 years, he absorbed every lesson, practiced every technique, and studied the subtle ways wood responded to his touch. Yet despite his growing skill, he constantly sought his master's approval before completing any piece. One morning, his master presented him with a unique challenge: create a masterpiece without once asking for guidance. Marcus felt uncertainty grip his heart, but something had shifted within him. As he stood before the raw timber, years of accumulated wisdom stirred in his consciousness. His hands moved with practiced grace, responding to the wood's natural grain. Each cut, each curve flowed from an inner knowing that transcended thought. In those moments, Marcus realized he had become one with his craft. The teachings lived through his movements, requiring no conscious effort. When his master returned, he found not just a beautifully crafted piece, but a transformed apprentice. "At last," the master smiled, "you have allowed the knowledge to become who you are." Through this tale, a fundamental truth emerges about your own journey. The wisdom you have gathered must move beyond intellectual understanding to become your natural state of being. True mastery arrives when knowledge transforms from something you do into something you are. The universe responds not to what you know, but to what you have become. When manifestation principles flow through you as naturally as breath, you no longer need to think about applying them. They simply are your way of being. Consider how a skilled dancer moves without counting steps, or how you speak your native tongue without consulting grammar rules. This same natural fluency awaits you in the art of conscious creation. Each principle you've encountered holds the potential to become an automatic expression of your being. Mastery manifests when wisdom becomes your nature. This truth reveals that the final step in transformation is allowing these sacred principles to settle into your very essence. When you embody these teachings, your every thought and action naturally aligns with the laws of manifestation. Ritual of discovery, the embodiment practice. Select one fundamental principle from these teachings that resonates most deeply with your spirit. Perhaps it is the power of unwavering belief, the art of visualization, or the practice of gratitude. For the next lunar cycle, commit to expressing this principle in every moment possible until it becomes as natural as breathing. Create a symbol or gesture that represents this teaching. Touch this symbol or perform this gesture each morning as a reminder to embody this wisdom throughout your day. Let it serve as an anchor, grounding this principle into your being until it becomes an inseparable part of who you are. Chapter 24. Manifesting in oneness with the universe. In a forgotten garden on the outskirts of a bustling city, an elderly gardener named Thomas discovered a truth that would transform his understanding of creation. Each morning, he would enter his garden at sunrise, greeting each plant as though meeting an old friend. Where others saw only flowers and vegetables, Thomas recognized living beings, each with its own rhythm and needs. One particularly challenging season, his garden faced an infestation that threatened to destroy everything he had cultivated. Instead of reacting with harsh chemicals, Thomas chose to listen. He spent time with each affected plant, observing its struggle, understanding its place in the greater whole. Through this intimate connection, he realized that the garden was teaching him about balance. By nurturing the beneficial insects that naturally controlled the harmful ones, by understanding how certain plants protected others, and by working with nature's own wisdom, Thomas restored harmony to his garden. His vegetables grew more abundant than ever, and his flowers bloomed with unprecedented vitality. You too possess this capacity to create in harmony with the greater forces that surround you, The universe operates as an interconnected web of energy, where each action affects the whole. When you align your creative power with this universal dance, you discover that manifestation becomes not just about personal gain, but about contributing to the flourishing of all life. True creation springs from understanding your role as a co-creator with the universe. Just as Thomas learned to work with the natural intelligence of his garden, you must learn to align your desires with the highest good of all. This doesn't diminish your dreams, it amplifies them by connecting them to something greater than yourself. Consider how your intentions ripple outward, touching countless lives. When you manifest from this expanded awareness, you tap into the universe's unlimited potential for creation. Your desires become seeds that, when planted with consciousness, grow into blessings that nourish many. In harmony with all, your creations become gifts to the world. This wisdom reveals that the most powerful manifestations arise when personal fulfillment aligns with universal benefit. By recognizing your role in the greater tapestry of existence, you unlock the ability to create changes that resonate far beyond your immediate sphere. Ritual of Discovery, the harmonious creation practice. Find a quiet space where you can connect with your deepest intentions. Visualize your personal desire as a seed of light in your heart. Now imagine how this light could expand to benefit others. Perhaps your success enables you to help your community, or your joy uplifts those around you. Write down your intention, specifically noting how its fulfillment serves both your growth and the well-being of others. Place this written intention where you can see it daily, reminding yourself that you create not in isolation but in sacred partnership with all of existence. Conclusion. Through these sacred pages, you have walked an ancient path, uncovering truths that have transformed seekers into creators since time immemorial. As you stand at this threshold between what was and what shall be, pause to acknowledge the profound journey you have undertaken. The knowledge you now possess was once hidden from those deemed unprepared to wield its power. Yet here you stand, having proven yourself worthy through dedication and openness to wisdom that transcends ordinary understanding. Each chapter has unveiled another layer of the universe's deepest mysteries, guiding you from uncertainty toward mastery of your creative force. Take a moment to recall your first encounter with these teachings. Remember the stirring in your soul when you discovered that belief alone could reshape reality. Think back to the moment you realized that your thoughts were not mere whispers in the void, but powerful forces of creation. Reflect on how your perception has shifted as you learn to see the world through eyes awakened to possibility. Take time now to identify which teachings resonated most deeply with your spirit. Perhaps it was the practice of visualization that opened new doorways in your mind. Or maybe the art of energy alignment showed you how to harmonize with universal forces. Whatever spoke most powerfully to your soul, know that these are the tools meant specifically for your path. The universe has guided you to this knowledge for a purpose. You are now a keeper of these sacred principles, entrusted with their power not just for your own transformation, but for the elevation of all you touch. As you continue to apply these teachings, you become a living example of their truth, a beacon of possibility for others who seek their own awakening. Remember that mastery is not a destination, but a journey of continuous refinement. Each day presents new opportunities to apply these principles, to deepen your understanding, and to strengthen your connection with the creative forces of the universe. Let these teachings be your compass as you navigate the path ahead. Return to them when you need guidance, draw upon their wisdom when facing challenges, and allow their truth to illuminate your way forward. You have been initiated into knowledge that has transformed countless lives throughout history. Now, it is your time to embody these truths and manifest the reality you were born to create. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.